wanna fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone. And the brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. All we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on, the world is watching now. People looking for truth, we must act faithful now. Be sure, before we close our eyes, walk away from here till you hear the signs. Here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. Neighbors once friendly now stand aside of the line that has been drawn. They've been fighting here for years, but now there's killing on the streets. While small coffins are lined up sadly, now united in defeat. All we always need to hear both sides of the story. Well, the lights are all on, the world is watching now. People looking for truth, we must act faithful now. Be sure, before we close our eyes, walk away from here till you see both sides. It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 13th day of the third month of 2023, the International Year of Millets. A millet is a cereal grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Here in Jamaica and in the United States, the month of March is being observed as Intellectual Disabilities Month, and a salute to the team at the photocopying establishment next door, the tax office next door, the post office, because a key member of the staff there, and we did see the emblem on his shirt, the Abilities Foundation. So Sean, who's a regular listener to this program, when we tell you about the Abilities Foundation, we're talking about a foundation that is functional. And we saw the foundation in action today at that center that facilitates photocopying and related services. There he was in his white shirt with his Abilities Foundation brand, and moving around in that business establishment as a functional, certified, and otherwise confirmed member in that position that he holds. So big up the Abilities Foundation, and we salute and celebrate all those who have been benefiting and putting to good use those benefits that have accrued to them. More in a moment.
into Marjan's Pharmacy and you will feel better. The service is clearly different. Marjan's Pharmacy code 876-703-6335. The time by Marjan's Pharmacy is 2:15. Farming today is becoming more technologically driven. No wonder Jacto farming equipment has the cutting edge. With Jacto, you are guaranteed sprayers that are durable, user-friendly, low maintenance, have controlled application, efficient and practical. Call Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica at 876-757-0022 and inquire about our Jacto manual and battery-operated sprayers and our tractor-mounted boom and cannon sprayers.
Welcome back to Are You a Smart Shopper? First question, what's the best time to go to the supermarket?
Anytime with Samples online.
Correct. What can you buy?
All what you need. All meat, fresh produce, and things in a bulk. Samples affordable. Plus, them give special discounts weekly.
Cool.
And you get things delivered. I'll pick them up at one of 7 Samples stores island-wide.
She's a smart shopper. Visit a Samples store or shopsamples.com for smarter shopping.
Your health is key to your wealth. Suffering from muscle, joint, neck, back, and other pain? The Rehabilitation Institute of the Caribbean, in association with Winchester MRI, Immune Active Denk, and Almighty Studios present Rehabilitation Now, a 30-minute feature on physical medicine and rehabilitation for persons overcoming pain or dysfunction from injury or disease that affects muscles, tendons, nerves, and joints. Rehabilitation Now with rehabilitation physician Dr. Paula Dawson and host Alicia Taylor airs every Friday at 3:30 p.m. during both sides of the story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106. Free your body from aches and pain with Rehabilitation Now, right here on Power 106 FM.
Yes, indeed. Once again, salute to members of the Abilities Foundation and the work that they continue to do, as we were saying. And it ties in with, well, this is Disabilities Awareness Month as well, Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. But we saw a young man wearing his Abilities Foundation shirt, and you couldn't tell he wasn't a bona fide member of the team. He was very well placed and quite efficient at the work that he was doing, and very focused as well. And so we salute all members who are other of the community. We sometimes refer to as those who are otherwise enabled. And so it's Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. Also in the US, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month, and Salt Awareness Month. And in the UK, March is also Prostate Awareness Month. Now, usually around this time, we observe, well, in Cuba, they usually commemorate the revolutionary attack on the presidential palace on this day. And usually around this week, we would have World Kidney Awareness Week activities. And in Jamaica, around this time, we normally would have National Mathematics Week activities. Don't know if those might have been upended by developments recently in terms of labor relations. And Salt Awareness Week activities, usually around this time as well. Hoy es lunes, el 13 de marzo 2023, y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa, Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continua para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 13 mars 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Monday, the 13th of March, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. And just in case you missed it and not paying attention, it is that time of year. They say spring forward when we go 1 hour ahead. Not we here in Jamaica, but in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and other countries in the world. They're 1 hour ahead of us. And so those of us with devices, laptops, computers, laptop computers, tablet computers, smartphones, depending on how they have been configured, you will wonder how it is. You look at your device and wonder how it is that it is 3:24 p.m. and in fact it is 2:24 p.m. That's called daylight saving time, and that's one of the used to be one of the features here in Jamaica, that we used to observe daylight saving time. But that, I think Colonel Charles was minister, what was it? Minister of Labor and, Minister of Labor and Social Security at the time, maybe under a different name, but, and that it was a big deal back then, daylight saving time. I remember having to get up a little earlier than schedule and so on and so forth. So it's that time of year. So we are now between winter and summer, essentially. So we have sprung forward. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And it is a Monday afternoon, so not too long from now, it will be time for Land Solutions. And our friends from the Consumer Affairs Commission are going to be spending some time with us this afternoon on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. So we're looking forward to that and other developments. In the meantime, as we like to do, let's give you an update on how things have been unfolding within the last few hours or so. If you've been too busy to take note, well, we have been witnessing a lot of these bushfires. Firefighters were told battling bushfire in rural St. Andrew. The Jamaica Fire Brigade is battling a major bushfire in St. Andrew. We actually passed that area earlier this afternoon. Well, this afternoon we were in that region and took note of the fact that the conditions were changing and there was smoke and the sirens going and the Jamaica Fire Brigade at work. So the Jamaica Fire Brigade is battling a major bushfire in St. Andrew, which is threatening, up to the time of this report from the Gleaner, threatening several houses in Rosemont and 15 miles districts along the Junction Main Road. Residents said the fire started Sunday night, but they were able to quickly intervene and make a difference. You should of these burnt out hillsides and so on. There's a lot happening in the environment and we need to be careful. Serious business. Serious business. It's not a joke. And so there is that. And here we go again. 5 men wanted in St. Catherine. Detectives assigned to the St. Catherine North Police have listed 5 people as wanted. The police say 2 of them are wanted for murder. They are Dean Norman, otherwise called Max, of Berwick District in Bogwalk in St. Catherine. And the others listed from Greendale. Well, this fellow also from Greendale in Manchester, Dean Norman, otherwise called Max of Berwick District, Bogwalk, as well as Above Rocks District, and Junior Brown of Springvale District, Bogwalk, and Greendale in Manchester. The others are wanted for shooting with intent. They are Kevin Fletcher, otherwise called Tippy, of Victoria District, Linstead, Brian King, otherwise called Marlon King, of Fletcher's Land, Kitson Town, and Kenroy Collins of Sligoville. Investigators believe that the arrest and charge of these 5 individuals will positively impact the safety of many communities in the parish and are encouraging persons to share information about their whereabouts. Well, we also would like to thank Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, that you have been doing the investigations, you have been gathering the evidence, and now when you take these individuals into custody, that you will have no reason to release them because you have evidence that you can act upon and ensure that these individuals go to court, face the court, and let the hand of justice do what the hand of justice does. In the meantime, members of the public are being asked if they know the whereabouts of these individuals to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2305 or 876-984-4490. Later on, we'll share some more with you. In the meantime, let's get ready for today's edition of Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's onespotmedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at onespotmedia.com. Follow us on Instagram, facebook.com/onespotmedia, and subscribe now. OneSmartMedia.com. Join Alfie Mackenzie during Farm Talk every second Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for a special feature that provides useful information on the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, JACRA, and the role they play in Jamaica's agricultural sector. This feature is brought to you by the Jamaica Agricultural Commodities Regulatory Authority, JACRA, 1 Willie Henry Drive, Kingston. That's the JACRA special feature every second Tuesday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Alfie Mackenzie, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, so that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but you can also send your WhatsApp messages. That WhatsApp line for Land Solutions is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. We did mention the Ocho Rios office. There's a lawyer on duty every day of the work week. However, on a Thursday, there's a special arrangement on a Thursday where the senior attorneys make themselves available in order to help you to resolve your land-related matters. Now, if you wish to call the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company in Ocho Rios, St. Anne, if you wish to call them directly, the number is 876-974-6083. 876-974-6083. And you can expect that special session from 10 a.m. every Thursday, from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. In a moment, let's say good afternoon and welcome to your host on Land Solutions for today, attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
And thank you, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. Please remember the number to call if you want to speak to me on air, 922-411-325. 876-922-411-325. You want to speak to me on air, please call me on those numbers. And God willing, I'll be in the Ocho Rios office this Thursday between 10 and 1. So persons can give us a call. And remember, there's an attorney in the OTRS office every day. And the number for the OTRS office 9746083. And remember, if you want to get a title for your property, send me a WhatsApp message. I know some persons sent me text messages, and I would prefer the person who sent me text messages would send me a WhatsApp message so I could just forward the documents to you to assist you in getting a title. But if you want to get a title for your property, all you have to do, just send me a message. All you have to do is say title. Send that message to my cell phone, 876-387-3183. The first text message: good afternoon, madam. I bought a chain and a half of land. I have done my survey, but the land has tax on it. So how can I get my title?
The blind man.
I wonder where the land is. When did you buy it? Does it subdivision? Those are some questions we would need to find out. When did you buy it? Is it that it needs to be subdivided? Is there a title for the land already and you bought a small piece of it? There are a number of questions that we need to ask. So again, I'm saying to persons, be careful how you just buy a piece of land.
Called a while ago.
So just saying you bought a square and a chain and a half, which sometimes the parish council might say to you a chain and a half is too small to get forced to allow you to cut it off. You can get a title. The palm of my hand, you can get a title. You don't need to go to the parish council. But if you need subdivision and you need to go to the parish council might say, for example, land in St. Mary, that part of St. Mary or whatever parish it is, we will not allow you to subdivide it unless you have about a quarter acre. So the parish councils have their own restrictions as to what they will allow you to cut off, depending on location. But however, you need to know that if you have had this property, if you bought it more than 6 years ago and it is in certain parts of Jamaica, we probably can get a waiver of the subdivision if the title doesn't have a restriction on it to say the land is not to be subdivided. So there are many little things you need to look out for, which is why we say to the person, before you buy property, get the services of an attorney. Because there are some things that the attorneys need to look out for. So just don't go and say, sell me a piece of land. Get proper advice. Numbers to call 922-411-325, 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. The text line 387-3183. And remember, we have an office in Ocherius in St. Anne. I'll be there this Thursday between 10 and 1. And also, we have an office in Kingston. And our office in Kingston is at Winchester Business Center, and we're open every day there. But we're open at both offices every day, so just advising you that note that you can come to our Ocherius office. I'm there on a Thursday, but an attorney is there every day of the week. As I said, the numbers again to call 922-411-325. A gentleman spoke to me about something he heard Felicia talk about on radio the other day. And it's something that he spoke to me on it this week because he said it surprised him. And so maybe something that we need to re-emphasize. Because he said that he heard her say, even if you leave your mother, and I think I've said it on this program a few times, even if you leave your mother on your property, you should get your mother to sign something to say the property is yours. So I have a property and I bought a house and I put my mother to stay in it, and Mama is there without any documentation. The thing is, your mother will not, most times, we know mothers, our mother will never ever try to take your property. But what could happen is that, suppose, for example, mother has a husband and other children, etc. When mother passes, the children could say that mother had acquired the property by adverse possession. They could say Mama was there without permission, she just went there, and she was there for more than 12 years and she never paid any rent, etc. So it was hers by adverse possession. So therefore, when she passed, she did not make a will, or Mama would not have put it in her will if she made one. Her husband could say half of the property is mine because my wife owned it by adverse possession. And the children could say the other half is mine if Mama never had a husband. All her children could come to know and say the property belongs to all of us. So which is why we're trying to get our fellow Jamaicans to stop dealing with matters orally. I know we're coming from a tradition of oral tradition. We're coming from an oral tradition background because the language was so hard to learn that we carried on our story. Most of our stories told by around the fire. The Anansi stories, the can get many of our fellow Jamaicans to write things down because we're not a writing people. I'm told that one of the phone companies said that the amount of money they have made out of Jamaica. That's what I'm told. I don't know if it's just anecdotal or what. Because our persons will not send text, they call because we're not a writing people. And we know the English language is so hard to learn that, we have not, many of us have not mastered it, so it's easier to talk. But I'm saying to us, regardless of who you have, your cousin in the country, or your brother, or your sister, or your niece, or your nephew, occupying your land, or Mr. Brown looking after it, put something in writing. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be written by a lawyer. I hereby give you permission, mama, or whatever, I hereby give you permission to occupy my property as long as you will live, etc. Don't just send money to them to pay the taxes, so everything all right. Because if they show that they are paying the taxes, that is even going to reinforce even more that the property is theirs. If you have a caretaker, let the caretaker sign something to say, I'm looking after the property for you. Because sometimes, you and the caretaker, they're in there, but you pass on. And the caretaker will say to your children, your mother never gave me permission. Maybe to your children, your mother never gave me permission to occupy this property. I just saw it and went into it, so I have squatters' rights. And a lot of things that we need to be looking out for. So what am I saying in this first 15 minutes of the program? I'm saying to my listeners, write it down. Do not take it for granted that persons are always going to be honest. They might be honest, but the persons who come in after them might not be. You have the tenant has not paid rent for a certain period of time. You need to move towards dealing with the tenant because the tenant could own your property if he or she has not paid the rent for 12 years. If they paid it, maybe they didn't pay it 11 years and they paid it last year, you're fine. Because this period would have to start running over again after they have paid. But what I'm saying to my listeners is that we need to protect our interest in property. Do not just leave your property and say, hey, everything all right. Because it might be all right for this generation, but a different story for the other generation. That's what I'm encouraging my listeners. Someone is asking if I survey land. No, I don't. You have to get a commissioned land surveyor to go and survey it for you. But I'm not a surveyor. And you can just check the directory. There's a listing of all the commissioned land surveyors. And sometimes it suits you to see what parish your land is in. And then to get a surveyor from that area to survey for you. The numbers to call if you want to speak to me, 922-4113 to 5, 922-4113 to 5. And the text line is 387-3183. And that's the WhatsApp line too. If you want to send me a WhatsApp message or a text message, please, 387-3183. My father died and left some land for his kids. Can I by myself cut off my share? That's a little bit tricky. Because how do you know what share is yours? Maybe father described it by saying the piece from the apple tree to the breadfruit tree to the mango tree to Mr. Brown's land is yours. Yes, if you are sure what piece is yours, then you can survey your piece. I'm hoping everybody will be in agreement. If you have a house on your piece, that would make it even easier. So if you're listening, I'm going to ask you to send me a little bit more information. But what happens when you survey off this piece and they say that piece is not yours? Because we know how we are as a people. Everybody will want the front of the land. Everybody will want the front page. So we have some things to look at in terms of you just going and surveying your piece. It's best if everybody will come together and do a proper subdivision. But if you have occupied your piece for some time now and you have a house, etc. on it, then the boundaries will be clearly defined, and I could say you could survey your piece. Because sometimes the reality is that those who should administer the estate or probate the will, they are not in a hurry. And you can't wait 15, 20 years after your parents die to wait in order to get your piece of the rock. So give me a little more information. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
245. Access Financial Services is granting you quick and easy access to loans with a few clicks from your phone. Say hello to convenience and goodbye to long lines. With the new My Access mobile app, you can apply for loans, check loan balances, schedule appointments, and the best part, make payments towards your loan directly from your phone. What are you waiting for? Download the My Access app today. Visit accessfinanceonline.com for more information. Experience the power of easy access with the new My Access mobile app.
Your taxes hold.
Let's get digital this tax season. File and pay your final income tax return for 2022 and estimated return for 2023 due on March 15 with tax support in so many ways. Start connecting with us through our web hub at jamaicatax.gov.jm, customer care center 888 tax help or special taxpayer assistance program tutorials available online. All income tax returns, including individual, must be filed online and on time by March 15. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness, your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-922-41125 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. It's the feature Land Solutions here during both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. We should also remind you that Land Solutions is on Facebook, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. And the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. A lawyer is on duty every day, every weekday at the Ocho Rios office of Brown, Findlay and Company. However, there's an outreach effort, an extra feature is having the benefit of the knowledge and experience of senior attorneys on a Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. So that's a bit of a blitz from 10 to 1 every Thursday at the Ocho Rios office of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company, for obvious reasons, because of people having to travel from the far distances outside of the parish, the Garden Parish of St. Anne, and the fact that that is one of a couple of offices of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company. So the idea is to take advantage of the presence and the numbers in terms of the attorneys on a Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. It's like you could call it a legal clinic or legal aid clinic for that matter. Hope I'm not overstating it, Ms. Brown.
Not at all, Dervan, not at all.
Okay,
And that's
good.
exactly how it operates when I go in on Thursday.
Oh, okay, there you go. So, we have a message here for you from Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada, one of our regular listeners. And he has asked about this subject before, and I'm sure it will pique your interest and get your memory going again on the subject. He says, Dervan, could you please ask of the status of the zone reclassification on the title? Do title holders still need to go to the courts, enter a revised classification from, say, residential to business?
Yes, they still do. And it is so strange because I thought of it the other day, Steve, and what I said that I was going to lobby the Bar Association. But I know my colleagues might not be very pleased on it because the thing is, the reality is that we make a lot of money out of this thing because whenever a client comes to us, so for example, Waterford St. Catherine, everybody might come to us individually, it's about 3,000 units over there. Suppose it has a condition on it that says the land is not to be subdivided. Everybody would have to come to us, each individual, when they want to subdivide for us to get that covenant off. And it's quite a bit of money, maybe nearly $500,000. But what they really should look at is, and that is what we have written about, to say that for the entire Waterford, just send something into the titles office to say, we are asking you to amend all the original titles for Waterford to say the land is not to be subdivided without the approval of the parish council. Because when that is there, you don't have to go to the court for modification. I thought of raising it to the bar. I don't know if I'll make much progress there. Because really the local authorities that really should deal with it. But I've got no response on it. Even it was in my mind even last week. Again, and that's when I thought of taking it to the bar. I will, but I haven't had anything from the parish council either on it. But I will try the bar to hear what's their mind on it. I write to the conveyancing committee of the bar to hear what is the mind of the bar on it. But I really have more hope in the parish council dealing with it.
And sorry, Ms. Brown, just letting you know right away, Steve says, thank you for your honesty and persistence in getting this done.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks, Steve. But I promise you, this has never left my mind because I know how important it is to you, and it really is important. And makers might ask, what am I talking about? Let me just explain again what I'm saying. For example, you have some schemes where we see what is happening in Kingston now in terms of what seemed like a regular housing lot now is now housing 30 units. One condition on each of the titles you're going to see is that the land is not to be subdivided. You're putting up townhouses now, so it's a subdivision. So we have to apply to the court for a modification of restrictive covenant. And I'm saying that if that condition had said the land is not to be subdivided without the approval of the Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, when you got the approval, then that would be fine. But if you said it's not to be subdivided, full stop, you have to go to the court to do the modification to say it's not to be subdivided without the approval, which is really a waste of money and time. So I'm saying that what they should do is a whole-scale thing for all of who passes then. To say the land is not to be subdivided without the approval of the KCC, you don't need to go to court to just get the approval. And I think as well that what the local authorities need to do is to stop putting that condition on titles, that the land is not to be subdivided. Say the land is not to be subdivided without the approval of the authorities. Because somebody sent me a WhatsApp video the other day, and it was saying that a lot of the things we're fighting for now, what would happen in 150 years? And it was saying that 150 years ago, the things that people were fighting for now, who's recognizing those things? Who remembers any about those things? Nobody, because we're not around. So we might say to ourselves, I'm going to put a condition on this piece of land to say it's not to be subdivided. But what is a little piece of land for you now? 150 years is going to be massive. Look at what was happening around Kingston. A regular lot in Hope Pastures and Mona was seen as a normal lot. Now, as I said, it has 30 units, 30 habitable units on it. So what seems like the laws of the Medes and Persians today are going to change tomorrow. So let us not tie up the generations to come. Let us not just feel that the authority that we have today is going to be seen as great authority tomorrow. So we go putting on the thing, any property now, the land is not to be subdivided without the approval of the local authority. So if 50 years or 100 years or 120 years, God willing, to come, somebody would want to subdivide it. They don't have to pay an attorney. Maybe by that time it's about 5 million to do the modification, wasting the court's time. Because when you look at these modifications, first of all, and that's another thing that the Chief Justice needs to look at, modifications are only held now on a Tuesday. It used to be a Tuesday and a Thursday, so you can imagine how the judges are tied up and how it's not so easy to get a date. So we have a lot of things to look at as a country, and you look at a lot of these things, so we're not far thinking or far reaching our thoughts, then you realize that sometimes we have to say third world forever. But we really, really are progressing our thoughts, because a lot of times persons making decisions really don't have the experience, the knowledge, and maybe not the thought process to look beyond. And sometimes it's power in the hands of those who can't manage power. So I have power, so I'm going to use my power. But what's that power in 50 years' time when you're not there? So we need to be looking ahead and looking at the generations coming and think ahead, which is why maybe that's introducing critical thinking in schools, because we really, really have people not thinking. The number to call 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. You can send me a WhatsApp message. How long it takes for a subdivision to approve in Jamaica? The person who send that message, when you find out, please tell me. Well, we have a government, successive government saying it will take you 6 weeks. It's more like 6 years. The reality is that, sir, nothing is taken and nothing is in a hurry in this country. If you get to a subdivision in 2 years, I'm saying that you are most fortunate. You're most fortunate because, first of all, they give you the information piecemeal. They submit 15 plans, and because they say it's 15, and they call you next week and say they need 6 more. And they call you and say, oh, this part of the plan wasn't drawn properly. And then you take it in, somebody else call you next week and say, and they call you 6, 7 times to come correct something. Because it doesn't matter, they are being paid and you can sit down and wait. What hurry are you in? Sir? That's another story for another time. I can't tell you how long it takes, sir. Yes, Dervan?
Another one for your call coming in for you right now, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Ms. Brown. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, sir. You?
Let me say you're doing a wonderful job. I enjoy your program, this program every Monday. Wonderful job. I have 2 questions. One, I think the other attorney was on last week, and she was saying that the JP does not need to read your will, which from here in the state, from what I know, another republic here necessarily doesn't need to read your document. They're there just to certify a signature, so that's you want to sign that document. Chris, I'm asking on that subject. In Jamaica, when does a JP need to read the document, if any time?
Look, a JP doesn't come into a will situation at all. A JP is not involved in any will. You have your will and you call your 2 neighbors next door to witness it for you. And you make your children your executors. It's the children who are the executors have the responsibility. A JP does not come into the picture. Can you turn off your radio?
Right, so what? But the question, But the question I'm asking though, when does a JP need to read your document? Say I bring a document for the JP to sign. When does they need to read that document to see what's in that document?
Well, the JP really has no obligation to read any document, Okay, really doesn't have an obligation. The JP is witnessing your document, your signature for you. So if it says you're giving away your land, it's really not. The JP is witnessing your signature to make sure the person who came before them is really the right person. All right. The JP cannot. So if you can't read it and you do have an understanding of the thing, then the JP has an obligation to make sure you understand it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because here in the state, from what I gather,
They are just there to make sure that you are the one signing that document. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the obligation. One quick question. As far as rental income in Jamaica.
Hold on. Can you take that after the break, Ms. Brown? Respond to that after the break, please.
Yes.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages. And that number is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The text line, so that's the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6, upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. A lawyer is on duty every weekday at the law offices of Brown, Findley and Company in Ocho Rios. And on a Thursday, there's a special treat of sorts from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. The team is bolstered, and all the questions that you need answered and whatever other decisions need to be made will indeed be made during that period of time on a Thursday between 10 and 1. In the meantime, let's hand you over once again to Attorney at Law Gloria Brown and the question from the caller just now. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Dervan.
Yeah, so as far as income, rental income, or the income from renting, like from Airbnb, when it comes to tax in Jamaica, how do you treat those income? Do you have to file those income every year, or how does that go in Jamaica?
Sir, I don't want to advise you on tax law because I'm not an expert on tax law. Yes, okay. I would suspect that you'd have to do your regular income tax, I suspect, by the 15th of this month. 15th of March every year we do our regular filing. So that's what I would do with my rental income. I have to do my filing by the 15th of March and pay my income tax.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'll check with a tax attorney in Jamaica to make sure. All right, thanks a lot.
I appreciate your call, sir.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So the numbers to call 922-411-325, and just remind persons who have to file income tax that the 15th of this month is the deadline. So we need to have put our houses in order because this is the time to do all our filing and declare all the income we have made over the period. The numbers to call 922-411-325. 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183. Good day, Ms. Brown. Can persons claim land share between them without it being subdivided, and if so, how will they each claim their piece? That's an important question. Because I was explaining to someone just this morning that when persons own property, for example, as joint tenants in common, there's really no special portion for you. You need to come together, get it subdivided, and say you're going to get lot 1, I'm going to get lot 2. Because otherwise, you own everything together. It's what we call an undivided share. It's not divided. So in order to determine which piece will belong to that suppose, for example, you have a house on your piece and you know the piece is yours and there's no prohibition for subdivision, then you could survey your piece, especially with the agreement of the other party, and you could get a title and get the subdivision waived. Okay, but that's a process that we'll have to explain a little more. But if both parties can come to an agreement to say this piece is yours, that piece is yours, then you could come to an agreement. If you are occupying your piece, you have a house on it and you can show that you have been there for more than 7 years, you could get a waiver and could get a title for your piece. But we know how we are as a people. Everybody wants the piece at the front, and a lot of times the piece at the back is dead because we have all lined up all these houses at the front and left the entire back. Instead of saying, let me run a road right along the side so everybody can just line up. But we know what it is with front page. My grandma passed off last year, and so she didn't leave any tax paper or land paper. I then went to the tax office and got the information needed for the land. Someone was paying for it in 2017. But they stopped at year 2017 and started paying money on the tax, and it almost cleared up. So I have cleared up the taxes for the land and want to survey the land. What would be my next move? But the thing is, paying the taxes can't make you make a move. Okay, that can't help you at all. You need to get grandmother's. Grandmother just died in 2017. So if you pay the taxes, that will not give you the land. You need to tell me grandma had a spouse or grandma had children so they can apply to administer the estate and sort out the land. So you're paying the taxes, all you're doing is paying it for the others. You can't own it. And I'm trying to let persons know that paying taxes cannot make you own land. And I just cannot get that out of the heads of my fellow Jamaicans. Because somebody will come to my office and say, I'm paying the taxes, and I will say that can't make you own the land. And before the conversation is over, they tell me 5 more times that they are paying the taxes. So I guess they're saying to me that they don't believe me. But I've already said on this program, where I live at my house, suppose you pay the taxes for it every year. Do you think you could own my house? That should tell you that paying taxes can't make you own property. It's possession that goes. So you pay the tax, I'm in possession. After a certain period of time, it is my property. And I'm glad you have been paying the taxes, because when I'm ready to get my title and to get your title cancelled, I don't have any taxes to pay. So all those persons who are protecting the tax road, I'd advise you to go and protect your land. Remember that I told me, Uncle did not write anything to give you, so I am saying that you have a problem there. You have a problem there. You can't come and claim it because you can't go to court and say Uncle said it was. Because Uncle would have to be resurrected to corroborate what you're saying. The numbers to call 922-411-325. And remember that my name is Dora Brown. I'm an attorney with an office in Kingston and in Ojarios, a part of the firm Brown Finley, Kalisa Finley. We alternate the program. She was on last week, she'll be on next week. And Kalisa and I were partners in the firm. Kalisa is also my niece. So when I listen to Kalisa, sometimes the very answer that she would give to a question is the same answer I would give. I'm not sure if it's hereditary or it's environment, but we think alike in so many ways. So I'm asking you to please give me a call with any matter you have related to your land title. Numbers to call 387-3183. 387-3183. A text message now. My stepfather gave me 1 3/4 acres of land. I got it surveyed. How can I go about getting the title? I'm going to ask this person. I hope you have a WhatsApp on your phone, so I could just send you how to get the title. If you could just send me a message and just say title, then I would gladly send you the information on getting the title. And I really hope your stepfather gave you this gift in writing, because if it's not in writing, you might have a bit of a challenge. And I want to take the opportunity to encourage my listeners again to write down. But also, even though I'm saying to you write, I also want to take the opportunity to say to my listeners, be careful what you sign. Be careful what you sign. You're on a piece of land for 50 years, your grandmother was on it, and somebody comes out of the blue and says, oh, we're leasing it to you. And we are so glad to get a little tenure, a little status in terms of the land ownership that we run and sign away our rights. Anybody takes anything to you to write, to sign. take it from them and tell them you need to take it for your lawyer to read it. If anybody said they're not going to allow you to take it, then you need to get suspicious. And you might say, I can't afford a lawyer to read this for me. But remember, I've always said, and this is unfortunate, this is just for the benefit of persons in Kingston, but I'm sure there are other legal aid clinics around the place. But remember, at the Bethel Baptist Church in Halfway Street, there's a legal aid clinic every Saturday morning from 10 to 12. And you only pay $500 every Saturday morning. And there are experienced attorneys. I am there sometimes. Felicia is there. Different ones of us will be working at the clinic. And you just have to go in on a Saturday morning between 10 and 12 and take that document. Don't let anybody ask you to write. Don't let somebody even come to you and say, Dora, let me see how you write. No, write your name, let me see how you write. The paper will be right side now where you write. And I'm begging persons, don't let anybody come and say, oh, we'll lease you the land, come and sign the lease. Because a lot of times I've seen that, and when you sign the lease, you're signing the lease just so you can get notice. A lot of tricks are around. And remember, a lot of time we only are suspicious of people who look like us. There are people who don't look like us who are tricking persons in relation to land. Remember, squatters are not always poor people. We use the term squatter and see that the squatters always look like you and me, or well, not you and me, because a lot of persons are listening to the program who probably don't look like us. But a lot of us feel that the squatters are people who are, you know, like a gentleman came to me the other day. I was giving a talk, and somebody would use an example to say that, for example, a Rasta man squatting on my land, and I had to stop him and say, no, don't take any liberty with Rastas. Then I would not allow that. Because the Rastas are some of the most honest and hard-working people in our country. So I had to tell the person that they don't do that. Because a lot of the squatters don't look like how we feel that squatters should look. So I'm saying this to say to my listeners, do not just jump and say, I'm going to sign something. Anything you have, let me look at it. Or let a lawyer look at it. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Horror 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Are roads a major concern? What about those drains that are in need of repair or cleaning? Who's responsible for repairing my road, and when will it be done? Join us this and every Tuesday morning at 8 during Morning Agenda as we travel on our roads with the National Works Agency and get answers to these and other concerns. You're welcome to visit their website at www.nwa.gov.jm. See the tender notices link for projects to be undertaken. You may also call them toll-free at 1-888-429-5NWA. That's 1-888-429-5692. Or follow them on Twitter at NWA_JA and Facebook at www.facebook.com/NWA Jamaica. The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable, and quality roads.
It's the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office upstairs, Shop 6, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In fact, they have a lawyer on duty virtually every weekday, but on a Thursday, They enhance the package and offer more opportunities to engage clients and potential clients from all over Jamaica, not least of all from the Garden Parish itself, St. Anne. And that's every Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon, 10 to 1 on a Thursday. A good day to deal with land-related matters of your own at the Ocho Rios law offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. And if you prefer to call directly, if you prefer to call the Ocho Rios office directly, no sweat, that's fine. That number is available. That's 876-974-6083. 876-974-6083. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. I text the message. Good day, Miss Brown. My husband and I are living on my husband's family land for almost 30 years. His brother, who is living up overseas, came and paid up tax. Does that make him the owner of the land? There are 10 other siblings. Because he paid the tax, he's saying he's the sole here, and my husband doesn't have any sole here. I really want to know if that's so, but I just answered that question before. Okay, I answered the question before. Okay, the number to call 922-411-325, 922-411-325, and the text line 387-3183. And the first thing I would say to that listener, and I guess my listeners can pick up my annoyance, is that why is it that your brother-in-law had to come from abroad to pay the taxes when you and your husband are living there? Number one. Number two, your husband have been living on the piece of land for 30 years. What have you done about getting a title? As I said, my role these days I find is that all I'm doing is acting as a firewoman, because persons are only coming when there is a fire. You have had 30 years with no fire. What have you done? Have you and your husband surveyed the little piece you are living on for the 30 years? That's what you need to do. Survey the little piece you have been on for the 30 years and make arrangements to get a title. The gentleman coming from abroad and paying the taxes. If he had come from abroad and paid the taxes for my family land, could he get it? Okay, I've answered the question enough time. Jamaicans, please. Paying tax can make people own land. If he gets a title for that land, it will be fraud and he could go to prison. All right, but you go and look about what you and your husband have and pay the taxes every year so somebody doesn't have to come and pay it, and then you're in problem. Since I was a child over 50 years, I've heard that an educational institution may have obtained some of my grandparents' property legally. I don't know if it's true. How could I find out the facts? And if the rumor is true, could I sue to recover such properties at this time? There's something in law we call statute barred, which means all it means that it's a nice word, but all it means that you're too late. Okay? If somebody has occupied your land for more than 12 years, you are too late. So no court will entertain you. And first of all, you have no standing in relation to your grandparents' land. Okay, you'd have to go and administer their estate. So you'd have to go, and if they have children who are alive, the children would have that priority. And as I said before, you'll be a little late to get that back. If the school has been on it, you said, for over 50 years, you'd have a little bit of a challenge. I don't say you must drive. But you'd have to administer the grandparents' estate first, and then maybe approach the ministry. But I don't think any court would really entertain you. If the person who was said to have shared up the land has died, how then it can be proven that the land was shared by that deceased person without it subdivided? Well, the person just have to say, maybe you have your house and your piece, and you could say, yes, that's the piece I got. All right, so it should have to come together and agree to say, this is the piece I got, that's the piece you got, and as I said, if houses are on it, then, but if nothing is on it, persons would have to come together and decide. Maybe you have to draw lots to see who must get which part of it. Good afternoon, my mother bought a piece of land 15 years ago. She passed away, the title still in her name. She bought the land with a person leasing it. What is the process if we are to terminate the lease of that person? The thing is, you have to go and administer your mother's estate, because you don't have any standing, that's what we call it. You don't have any standing, okay, to go to court to say, it's my mother's land. If you don't administer the estate, you don't have the right to go to court. So the first thing you do, if mom mom did not, if mom made a will, you need to probate the will, and then the executors or the beneficiaries can take the person to court and give the person notice who's leasing the land. Or if the mother did not make a will, then her spouse and children apply to administer the estate, and then you can give the notice. The number is to call 922-411-325, 922-411-325. And the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183, the text line. And remember, we said that you can give me, you can also send an email, gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com, or you can see me. I'll be in Ocherius this Thursday. God willing, between 10 and 1. Okay, this one can be read. This one is to Dervan. This genius here. Then Miss Brown, she's the key to all Brown. She should be the whatever. Thanks for being honest. Matching Dervan, Miss. Okay, my brother. Okay, Mr. Genius, I hear you. Is the value of the house and land that's part of the cost? Yes, this person asked before, and I'm sorry, I missed your. Well, look at it this way. If I'm doing a title for a hotel on a piece of land and I'm doing it for an empty piece, the piece of the hotel is going to cost you much more for me to get the title. So the improvement on the land is going to affect how much I'm going to charge you for a title. If it's an empty piece of land, it's going to cost less than if it's improved. To improve means it has buildings on it. So yes, the value will impact the price that you will pay. The value will affect how much you will pay in relation to us getting a title for your land. And I beg of persons, if somebody is giving you a piece of land, get it in writing. Even on a book leaf, you write it, or on a folder leaf, anything. I give to my daughter, so and so, and get it witnessed by 2 persons, because a piece of paper can amount to a will. Later on, willing that piece of land to you. But don't let mama tell you, yes, ma'am, put your house in that corner over there, man, I'm giving you a house, but let mama put it in writing, because when you look around, the title has mama and your big brother's name on it. Mama passes, goes to big brother. And then you get notice, and then we have problems, and then we encourage in family war. And the generations cannot live in peace, and mama cannot rest in her grave in peace. So I'm saying to persons giving anybody land, put it in writing and let the lawyer write it down, not the JP. Because a lot of times the JPs are filling out what we call the indenture or the common law title, or we call it the conveyance. And giving persons land, and the land has a title. You can't do a common law title for a land that has registered title. You can't give a lesser title out of a better title. So that needs a lawyer to do what we call a transfer, not a conveyance. A conveyance is a land that is unregistered. You need to get a lawyer to do a transfer to get it subdivided or to put your name on the title. But I'm begging persons, don't let anybody encourage you to put anything on their land unless your name is on that title or you have a title for your piece. And parents, I have only seen nightmares with those of us who let the children build upstairs on the house. Mama has the house downstairs and the child put the house upstairs, and it's nightmare for mama and it's nightmare for the child. Because mama passes, she does not make a will. And remember, title is ready for land. Okay, even though we tell her we're going to charge her for the improved value. So when mama dies, everything on that land belongs to all the children. If she never made a will and will it, how she should will it. And if she will the upstairs to one child and the downstairs to another, how are you going to get it? The upstairs, how are you going to get a title for the upstairs piece when the parish council is not allowing you to struggle? And that's another rubbish that the parish councils in, especially in rural areas, will not allow persons to get a strata title for their properties. Because as long as you can show that you have enough private space, and in the house you need more than 2 private spaces or maybe 4, and you can show that when you're accessing your upstairs, you don't have to go through the downstairs, then you should be able to get a title. But when you're first, what are the standards that we put in the road roll standard on donkey card system? Okay? So we have these 40 persons, a man dies and leaves a piece of property for his children, and we're telling them that we want a 40-foot Barber Green road in the development, even though the children live there and we're driving them little car in and out. We want a 40-foot Barber Green road, and we want fire hydrant and turning circle and stop sign and all kind of things that people have been living there for a long, long time without those things. Why is it that we won't stop, stop putting hindrances and roadblocks in the way of too hard to get anything in this country, too hard for the African man to get a title so he can use it and get some money to borrow and send his child to school to a lawyer like Dora Brown. We need to stop. Okay, and the government needs to look at these things and to realize that it's too difficult to do business in Jamaica. As it is now, you can't get anything out of the titles office. It's partially impossible to get anything out of the courts. It's impossible to get anything out of the stamp office. When I say impossible, in a reasonable time. So when I look at even a grant of probate, the person died within the last 3 years. It's 3 pages of documentation, most times. You don't have to reconcile the name and do an alias. There's no delay.
No problem, we're good. 3:45.
So even if there's a delay, if we give it 5 pages,
Sure, you're welcome.
that you probably can look at in 10 minutes, and you have to wait some months for that. It is too difficult to do business in Jamaica. When things are difficult, when business becomes difficult, corruption becomes rife. Because when you can't get it over the table, somebody is going to go under the table. We have to look at how we are doing business in Jamaica. It makes life too hard. The amount of money tied up in all developments, in estates, where children are starving, in the Administrator General's Department. It's too difficult. I end on that note, and I want to say thanks so much to my listeners. I know I did not get through a lot of the text messages because I've been preaching, but a little preaching is necessary sometimes. Again, I express my condolences to the family of Mr. Cedar Bryan and Leo. I need to give you a call, and I promise I will. Mr. Cedar Bryan is surely a GP, noted GP and former postmistress of Sagoville who passed on. Condolences to the family and other fans who passed on. I look forward to sharing again with you again next week on Land Solutions. Remember, my name is Gloria Brown. Message after the program 387-3183. Thanks to Dervan and thanks to you, my listeners. I look forward to sharing again with you on Land Solutions. Have a good day.
Help us. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 8:30.
I don't want to get it wrong.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature Hyper Food Independence. Hyper Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal economy, and more. That's Hyper Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. Hyper Food Independence is sponsored by Hypro.
Both sides.
A major concern?
Yeah.
What about those drains that are in need of repair or cleaning? Who's responsible for repairing my road and when will it be done? Join us this and every Tuesday morning at 8 during Morning Agenda as we travel on our roads with the National Works Agency and get answers to these and other concerns. You're welcome to visit their website at www.nwa.gov.jm. See the tender notices link for projects to be undertaken. You may also call them toll-free at 1-888-429-5NWA. That's 1-888-429-5692. Or follow them on Twitter at NWA_JA and Facebook at www.facebook.com/NWA Jamaica. The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable, and quality roads.
It's here, it's there, it's everywhere. It's OneSpotMedia.com. Watch your favorite local program or listen to your favorite radio station from anywhere in the world on your tablet, smartphone, or personal computer. Download the app now and keep up to date with your favorite local programs on TVJ. Check us out at OneSpotMedia.com.
I just saw an email.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook.com/OneSpotMedia, and subscribe now.
From this morning.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best
All right, well, let's
prices.
do it then.
Park Road,
All right.
75437.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We're good to go? I'm asking. Between between this
Both sides of the story.
yeah, but if this is in writing, it's the heading I'm looking at is from Jesse. Well, Sheridan said she was gonna call her just now. Come again. Well, it's definitely going to be on today. Yeah. Okay. All right. Come in the meantime. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And we're standing by for today's special feature ahead of the celebration of World Consumer Rights Day coming up on Monday. And we look forward to sharing the information with you. In the meantime, though, let's greet those of you who've been online listening and messaging us. Sean Chambers says, "Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan." Good afternoon, Sean Chambers. Asha Ash says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England." Welcome, Asha Ash. Karen Rose says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and all listeners." Good afternoon, Karen Rowe. Paulette Blair says, "Good afternoon." To you too, Paulette Blair. Good to have you on board. And Norman Hines, good afternoon to you as well. Velta Wilson, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And it's good to have you on board. And all the others who are joining us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls as well, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And looking forward to your usual participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. And we do know that you've sent us multiple messages as well that you'd like us to clear. And we're going to do our best to see how many of them we can get through. Most of these being WhatsApp messages. The WhatsApp line 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And we thank you for your messages, and have a few minutes before our feature. A few minutes. So if you wish, you can give us a call on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 365 3346. And we're all over social media, as you know. All right, here is a story that you might have an interest in. Well, a couple of stories, actually. Uh, let's give you some updates here. So there's a story with respect to the global floods, droughts, and worsening warming conditions. The intensity of extreme drought and rainfall increased over the past 20 years, according to a study published today in the journal Nature Water. These aren't merely tough weather events, they are leading to extremes such as crop failure, infrastructure damage, and even humanitarian crises and conflict. The big picture on water comes from data from a pair of satellites known as GRACE, or Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment, that were used to measure changes in Earth's water storage. The sum of all the water on and in the land, including groundwater, surface water, ice, and snow. It's incredible that we can now monitor the pulse of continental water from outer space, according to Park Williams, a bioclimatologist at the University of California, Los Angeles, who was not involved with the study. I have a feeling when future generations look back and try to determine when humanity really began understanding the planet as a whole, this will be one of the studies highlighted, he said. The researchers say the data confirms that both frequency and intensity of rainfall and droughts are increasing due to burning fossil fuels and other human activity that releases greenhouse gases. The strong link between these climate extremes and rising global average temperatures means continued global warming will mean more drought and rainstorms that are worse by many measures, more frequent, more severe, longer, and larger. Researchers looked at 1,056 events from 2002 to 2021 using a novel algorithm that identifies where the land is, or areas where the land is much wetter or drier than normal. That showed the most extreme rains keep happening in sub-Saharan Africa, at least through December 2021, the end of the data. The rainfall extremes also took place in Central and Eastern North America with 2018 to 2021, and Australia during 2011 to 2012. The most intense droughts were a record-breaking one in northeastern South America from 2015 to 2016, an event in the Cerrado region of Brazil that began in 2019 and continues, and the ongoing drought in the American Southwest that has caused dangerously low water levels in two of the biggest U.S. reservoirs, Lake Mead and Lake Powell. Those remain low despite heavy rains this year. Drought events outnumbered heavy rain events by 10%. Their geographic extents and how long they lasted were similar. A warmer atmosphere increases the rate at which water evaporates during dry periods. It also holds more water vapor, which fuels heavy rainfall events. The study noted that infrastructure like airports and sewage treatment plants that were designed to withstand once in a 100-year event are becoming more challenged as these extremes happen more often and with more intensity. So clearly we have to be more innovative, creative, and scientific for sure, scientific, meticulous, and design oriented in how we respond to these weather conditions if we are to continue living on planet Earth. I mean, where else can we go, right? Well, there 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 are all kinds of sightings in elsewhere in the universe. So who knows? Who knows? But the point is we need to pay attention to what is happening and take whatever actions we're able to take at this early stage so that if and when things deteriorate beyond where they are now, we'll at least be able to identify what's happening to be able to act accordingly and act in advance of the eventuality. So you can read more on your own as far as the Gleaner is concerned, the online Gleaner, Jamaica-Gleaner.com. So that's one of the stories that is trending right now on the Gleaner's website. Global floods, droughts, worsening, warming. Oh dear. My late mother would say, "An a sup na go, a sup na come." So let's be prepared. How about that? Let's be prepared. Let's share. And of course, we're seeing this manifested right in our backyards and front yards and essentially right here in Jamaica where we are, wherever in Jamaica we are, with these firefighters working overtime, battling bushfires in rural St. Andrew, for example, and doing so with a frequency never before seen. And then there are other stories that are emerging. For example, this one of a man in police custody following the shooting death of a 2-year-old boy. So there's the man-made and there is nature. Oh dear. One moment, please.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston. 7543 is
345.
more roads a major concern? What about those drains that are in need of repair or cleaning? Who's responsible for repairing my road and when will it be done? Join us this and every Tuesday morning at 8 during Morning Agenda as we travel on our roads with the National Works Agency and get answers to these and other concerns. Visit their website at www.nwa.gr. See the tender notices link for projects to be undertaken. You may also call them toll free at 1-888-429-5NWA. That's 1-888-429-5692. Or follow them on Twitter at NWA_JA and Facebook at www.facebook.com/NWA Jamaica. The National Works Agency, developing safe, reliable, and quality roads.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaner's website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And let's pause and get ready to tell you all about the significance of the 15th of March. If you didn't know before, in 2 days' time, we will celebrate World Consumer Rights Day. And I dare say this would make it World Consumer Rights Week by virtue of the day falling in this week. And the expert we've invited to join us from the Consumer Affairs Commission is Communications Specialist, Ms. Dorothy Campbell. Good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm happy to be on your program today. I'm well, thank you.
Wonderful. And we're We are delighted to have you join us. Thank you so much. Appreciate your interest in making sure that we get an opportunity to speak with you on both sides of the story 2 days before World Consumer Rights Day. Well, let's go to the beginning then, Dorothy Campbell. What's the significance of World Consumer Rights Day, the 15th of March? Why should those listening to us care about these things?
Well, I'm happy for that question. Usually we talk about what's affecting the consumers, but never about why it is that we important to defend, protect, educate, and inform consumers. So we start at the very beginning, and so we want to credit the former U.S. President John F. Kennedy. He recognized that when consumerism was on the rise after the war, the American consumers were all getting excited about the industrial
Revolution. Mm-hmm.
brand new television sets and washing machines and all kinds of household goods conveniences they never had before.
Yes.
And they can now afford to design these things, manufacture these things mass production was the order of the day then,
Mm-hmm.
which we now take for granted. But he recognized that while we had just adopted the human rights, the UN human rights for consumers, for citizens, there was some kind of gap within the areas of the market that would possibly put consumers at risk, and there would be no avenue for redress on behalf of the consumer. So while some marketers, some manufacturers may say the market will correct itself, the former U.S. president saw it within his own wisdom that you really require some kind of underpinning for the consumers, as well as some oversight to ensure that when these errors occur on the production line or within the service industry, that consumers had some way of ensuring that their rights continue to be protected in the marketplace.
So,
hence the consumer rights mirroring the international human rights. And so he recommended as well, and this resolution was passed in the UN, that there are 8 basic rights of the consumer. And so today we are celebrating those 8 basic rights under which we now say consumers are protected. And so we give thanks that he had it within his wisdom to put this forward, and then the UN to have that adopted by over 100 countries. So today, Consumers International, which is the umbrella organization resident in the UK, has over 100 members and over 200 organizations, which will observe World Consumer Rights Day on March 15th.
I see. Now, is there? So there's a world body that essentially administers consumer matters on that's the Consumers International.
Consumers International, and we share membership through our NGO, the National Consumers League, and as the government agency, the Consumer Affairs Commission. And so we share information, research. We are aware of all the issues that affect consumers across the globe through this umbrella organization.
I see. What is the theme this year for World Consumer Rights Day?
Yes, the theme for World Consumer Rights Day on the international stage is empowering consumers through clean energy systems. This is what Consumers International chose to address. We at the CAC, we have used, however, in years past, we've also done that. We've departed from the international theme and focused on an issue that directly impact our consumers here. And this year's we have done that. So based on our complaint database, comments on social media and so on, we have recognized, and the very climate, that consumers are more engaged in their financial situation. And so we have recognized that where the gap is in that industry is that we are not as educated in terms of financial literacy as we ought to be. And so there is a gap not only in the financial sector for consumers, but also in the next generational tool, which is the digital financial space for consumers. So the Consumer Affairs Commission, for the past 3 consecutive years, we've focused on the financial issues affecting consumers. So this year, it's also about financial literacy, and we have chosen the theme, Level Up, Manage Your Money.
Yeah, that's most appropriate. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. So what we found is that it starts with the very basic things that we find that in terms of our behavior, we are not adopting the practices that would get us to the next level. So the campaign for this year, because once we have started a campaign for World Consumer Rights Day, we usually maintain that momentum throughout the year.
Until the next Consumer Rights Day.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So we are seeking to have that repeated this year. As we have found out in some research, and in particularly the financial literacy report, it stated that Jamaica ranked 29 out of 47 scores, which were assigned to 142 countries in terms of simple financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
And what it means is that only 33% of Jamaicans surveyed indicated that they had the knowledge of basic financial principles, and this placed Jamaica in a lower than average, the 42nd percentile of countries surveyed. So we recognize that based on evidence that we really need to ramp up that kind of consumer education.
So we need to ramp up, and as you say, we need to level up, manage,
exactly,
and manage our money. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. So what we want to impart to our consumers is basic understanding of some financial concepts,
mm-hmm.
In order for them to change behavior and acquire some of the skills associated with money management. And what we want to do is that where we do not have the skills or the expertise residing in the Consumer Affairs Commission, we intend to partner with agencies, the individuals, etc., who are experts in specific areas of money management that can assist consumers in changing their behavior, in getting control of their money and getting control of their lives.
Mm-hmm. And would you mind sharing with us, since we have this opportunity, some simple financial literacy tips for consumers listening to us who think that they have it going on and they're doing what they're supposed to do, who perhaps might be surprised at some of the tips that you have to share?
Right. So throughout this week, we will be focusing on, and we want consumers to really, access the different platforms and the print media as well as electronic media, because our focus this year will be just simply consumer education using whatever forum or platform available to us to ensure that the message gets out there. And one of the basic things, and this is part of our routine consumer education, but we will re-emphasize this, is for consumers to create a budget. We get
Yes.
the groans every time we say that when our officers go out to do presentations. We get the groans, the collective groan every time we say you must create a budget. Without a budget, there's no way you will know how much you're spending and how much is coming in.
You're spot on. There are those of us who are into what do you call that now? That some kind of uh, spontaneous is not the word. I'll work with that for the time being. But where people are just acting on feelings. Boy, I feel for some of this now, and oh,
Yeah,
they sell this too now. Let me take some
yeah,
of that, and
yeah.
then before you know it, you get to the cashier, and you may or may not have enough money to pay for everything, because you have allowed the appeal of the items in that particular outlet to get the better of you, and so you lose it as opposed to being more on the structured, organized, and smart side by saying, you know what, make a note of this. I need two of this, one of that, five of this, etc. Do the calculation and just make sure you are within budget. Is it because we have always had issues with numbers in this country? I don't think that's unique to us, but when you start doing numbers, people start thinking mathematics and they just put up their mental block. And how do we get around or get across or just uh, emerge from that kind of approach to a better place? Maybe you can respond after the break. I know that's a lot to chew on right now, but please hold the line a moment,
Sure.
listeners. We're speaking with Dorothy Campbell, communication specialist at the Consumer Affairs Commission. In a sense, we're giving you a preview of World Consumer Rights Day, which will be celebrated on Wednesday, the 15th of March.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Your taxes hold the key. Let's get digital. Get online this March 15. File and pay your final income tax return for 2022 and estimated return for 2023. There are so many options. JamaicaTax.gov.jm, direct funds transfer, NCB online banking, and Scotia online and mobile app. Pay your taxes the digital way. All returns must be filed online and on time. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line. Message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Wednesday, the 15th of March is World Consumer Rights Day, and you're invited to check out the Consumer Affairs Commission on all social media platforms. They're up and running, sharing useful information, and not just on Power 106 FM, but they're right across the various other media houses, print media, electronic media, and as we said, social media. And the aim is to reach all of us as consumers, whatever our platforms are, whatever our means of communication are. And we're happy to be a part of that family of media entities transmitting priceless information, pun intended, to the consumers. And so, going to the break, I think I was alluding pretty much to impulsive shopping, where you just want to buy this and you buy that. You don't have a list working with, you don't have a budget working with. You just go in and start picking things off the shelf. And as I said, you may or may not be able to pay for it by the time you get to the cashier. Might have to put back some things, and it also lends itself to a kind of, oh my God, is so much money I spent. Oh dear, and that kind of thing. So, how do we engender a higher level of discipline in consumers, all of us? How do we? What do you suggest? Because go ahead.
Well, let me say this, Dervan. I wish I had originally did come up with this idea. However, my friend and expert in financial planning, Denise Williams, says that it is because of our history and our emotional attachment to money. So rather than be disciplined and sticking to a committed spend, we tend to shop according to how we feel.
Yes.
So we had a bad day. So rather than just going the store to pick up, you know, a belt, we come out with a full suit, a purse, a handbag, a wallet, a tie, because we want to fill that space to shift our emotion from whatever the negative to the positive.
Yes.
And also we go online and we click, and then when we have received the item and or we have the buyer's remorse, which we speak to under the Consumer Protection Act. Then we seek the assistance of the CAC to have those things reversed and or returned to the merchant who refuses to accept. Because now the merchant is saying there's nothing wrong, it's not defective, I do not have to take this back and I do not have to refund your money. Under the CPA, the merchant would be correct. Because unlike any other reason to return an item, you cannot force a merchant to receive returned items because of an emotional response to the item saying, oh, I overspent, so I need to get my money back, or I just changed my mind. So we need to just simply make a commitment that we have X amount to spend and stick to the budget. You can replace items, but try not to be in excess of the amount that you plan, the limit that you plan to spend.
Yes.
And that takes us to the next item.
Yes.
About having debt.
Mm-hmm.
We really can't function without debt. You may have a mortgage, you may have a car note, you may have
car loan.
You may be going to school and you have tuition, etc. However, we must understand that you can incur bad debt because of bad spending practices. So that is something else we want to address. And we also want to engage consumers in understanding that they can reverse, change, and repair those practices. So it's not all downhill and there's no point in trying because I can't get back out. There are ways to pull yourself out of these situations, and we will be sure to have experts giving us advice and to share with the consumers about how to remedy bad debt. And also we'll be speaking to the whole idea of how you acquire a credit score. What is the information that the credit bureaus collect, and how does that affect your credit score? How does that affect your ability to acquire credit or loans to purchase the items that you need, a home, a car, land, etc. And we will also engage the experts in that area for persons to understand throughout the week, for persons to understand how this will impact their ability to level up and manage their money.
And once you have a consumer-oriented conversation or discussion, our consumers are going to come online. I'm seeing Charles James on YouTube saying, Dervan, we are going to do, when are we going to do with, when, is it when or what? When are we going to do with, or is it do away with cell companies? Yeah. When are we going to do away, that's their way is missing, with cell companies that seize our credits immediately after plans expire? Their explanation for this behavior makes no logical sense.
Um, this is something that we need to raise again with the oversight body. The Office of Utility Regulations decides on the service delivery, the contract, and the service delivery of the telecommunications utilities as well as cable and internet services. So that is something, if it's a broad practice, the general practice in the industry, it's something that our Consumer Affairs Commission leadership will write to the OUR to alert them that this is happening with consumers and it needs to be addressed. However, if the consumer has a complaint where they have proper documentation to share with the CAC, we will investigate the individual complaint. But as it is in the digital sphere, Dervan, as you understand, it is very difficult when you operate in a system that requires tangible evidence.
Yes.
When the system is of loss is digital. So we understand that much, and that's why we are responding in this way to say we will bring it to the attention of the OUR as the oversight body to bring the telecoms companies to book on these issues that are impacting consumers, if it is proven that this is occurring on a wide scale.
Generally speaking, how is the market in terms of both from the merchant standpoint and the consumer standpoint, based on what you see as far as complaints are concerned coming into the Consumer Affairs Commission, the CAC? Are there, based on what you know, you've read and you've experienced, are you able to give us a sense of how the CAC has been doing in helping to ameliorate whatever situations and occurrences may show their ugly head?
Yes, we continue to see consumers making purchases in the electrical equipment and appliances area, as well as the utilities and other services. The complaints database reflects that the top three categories for 2022-2023, really at the top of the list is electrical equipment and appliances.
And this is a case where people want to bring them back because they say something is faulty or it's not what they expected of the item.
Exactly. And,
Yes.
and very often the brand of the item, the size of the item, the market price, the going market price, something is off. And that's why we ask consumers, please do your due diligence before you make a commitment. Because if you have a brand, say, Cornerstone refrigerator, and it says 2-door top bottom freezer, and it says, 80,000, a red flag should go off. Because when you check the market, that description of a refrigerator is maybe twice that price.
Oh.
And very often when we get the complaints, the red flags go up immediately. That size household appliance does not match up to the going market price in Jamaica. And so we are asking consumers, and it's sometimes a faulty, defective good they may receive. We ask consumers, do your due diligence before. The total amount of complaints we've handled for year to date, April to February, was over 1,200. We resolved 882 or 69 or nearly 70% of those claims. And very often we have to do more research and get more expertise to investigate further, and or consumers have left out critical information, not using the complaint form to complete the information. And so very often these are delayed in terms of resolution. So we ask consumers to ensure that they complete the information. And I must say, Dervan, our motor vehicle and parts.
Oh, that's another area.
Tops the category of refunds. And it is understandable because it's a large item and it's the most expensive product outside of a home that a consumer will purchase. So we've collected over $16 million on behalf of consumers year to date for 2022-23. And we have collected over nearly 5 million, 4.9 million for electrical equipment and appliances. And for other services, it's about $6.3 million between. No, go ahead.
I wanted to find out how willing or unwilling are the parties usually to settling to. That's where the rubber hits the road, eh?
That's where the rubber hits the road. And sometimes the consumer, the complainant, really gets angry, and we are reprimanded and on social media about being ineffective and so on. But very often, because what we want consumers to understand, we have to investigate the issues as if we're heading to court, right? Our trainees who are in the legal profession, when we first passed the Consumer Protection Act, we were taught this is how you properly investigate an issue. You have to assume from the very first conversation that you're going to end up in court. So we want consumers to understand that every conversation, every digital note that you send to the CAC is filed as if that matter is heading to court. So we don't dismiss anything. So even if you don't hear from us after the initial phone call, it means that that officer is seeking more information on that file to ensure that when we come to a resolution, that it can stand up in court, if in fact we end up in court.
Hold on, please. We had no idea this session would have gone for so long, but your useful information coming out, and we need to transmit it to our consumers and indeed our listeners. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
both sides of the story.
Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune in to Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
Que ahora es en español, son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:16. 现在地点了4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? And students, have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Our very special guest is on overtime now. I hope we're not in trouble with communication specialist Dorothy Campbell of the Consumer Affairs Commission, because we have gone beyond the scheduled cutoff point. But this is useful useful information that we're getting from Dorothy Campbell. And so, with her permission, we are using the opportunity to share the information with you, our faithful listeners and viewers all over the globe, here on both sides of the story, Horror 106 FM. Thank you so much for holding, Ms. Campbell.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Right. I'll allow you to finish what you were saying when we had to take the break.
Yes, I just want to remind consumers that we have to ensure that once we have reached a resolution with your complaint, that it can stand up in court if you choose to take the matter further. So that is probably some of the reasons we have some delays when we are investigating your complaint. I simply want to use this time to alert your students that for World Consumer Rights Week, World Consumer Rights Day on Wednesday, and for the rest of the week, you can go to your parish library and to see the display on the theme and the messages that we will be highlighting in our local newspapers. We will be sending messages and focusing on different areas that we started to highlight in this discussion, Dervan. And so the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Library, the Greater Portmore Library, as well as those in the Central Jamaica, Mandeville, Maypen, Santa Cruz. In the west, you'll have St. James, Trelawney, Hanover. So we want those students you've asked about their homework. They can go to the library and get information about their rights and responsibilities, as well as on World Consumer Rights Day.
And some of them, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to highlight the fact that on Wednesday, they should listen for and look for the message by the Senator, the Honorable Auburn Hill, who is the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, under which the Consumer Affairs Commission falls. And he will be carrying that message to lead the charge for World Consumer Rights Day week and the year of campaign on financial literacy. And we will be on all the platforms on social media. We'll be on radio, your group, as well as your competitors, as well as television and print. So we want our young consumers to educate themselves and to ensure that they do not repeat the errors of their parents and the adults, but become more vigilant and more empowered about their rights and responsibilities.
Yes. And we have no problems letting the world know where else information of this kind, where and when it will be disseminated, because we're on the same team.
Exactly. And we've noticed that there are businesses being built out based on the fact that your audience in the diaspora are also engaged in the local market.
That's right.
In order to satisfy the needs of their families. So we know they listen and they are concerned with their rights as online as well as offline, because they are also engaged constantly in the local market space. So we are acutely aware of that when we are, especially on social media, that the information that we're sharing is not simply for the 3 million residing in Jamaica, but we are sharing information for our audience across the globe, our Jamaicans, as well as those who love Jamaica and engage in business in Jamaica.
After all, the Jamaicans and the friends of Jamaican. Boy, do we have friends. We have lots of those. But look at, we read a message earlier on from Charles James, and it seems to me, if you continue to get more messages like this one from Charles James, then you might have to consider a forum where the telecoms companies can explain themselves and help us to understand why certain decisions are made. So, for example, Charles James says, a follow-up, they not only seize all credits after the plan expires, but as soon as you top up again, they seize it. Their explanation that it's used up on data but why would charges become so expensive? So that looks like that is something brewing. Might
And we will take note of that message, Dervan, and we will ensure that we will request from your technical team to share that with us so that we can include those statements in the letter that our CEO, Mrs. Darcy Allen, will, of course, be the one to address to the OUR regarding these practices, because this sounds like a systemic rather than an individual complaint. It sounds like it's a systemic issue. If it's happening automatically, maybe it's happening to everyone else. Yes. So we won't make any assumptions. We'll have to find that out and request that some kind of dialogue, some kind of engagement occurs between the CAC and the OUR on this issue.
Well, we really, really hope so, because as I said, looks like it's an issue that goes beyond just Charles James's space, but other customers as well.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So as we get ready to wrap, Dorothy Campbell, if there's any other bit of information that you think might be useful to disseminate at this point, as we get ready for World Consumer Rights Day, even as we continue to celebrate World Consumer Rights Week, essentially.
Right, and I'm going to borrow again from the financial planner Denise Williams, for Jamaicans to understand when we say understand your assets and your liabilities, that your asset is not necessarily the traditional things that you look at, your house, your car, etc. That your skills are also considered as assets. So there is a new wave,
yes,
for us, but it is almost a decade old or more in other areas, in other jurisdictions, that you learn to monetize whatever skills you have and list that under your assets. Consider that, because the value of what you contribute to whatever that is, whether it's a service or a good, has a monetary value.
Yes.
And therefore, when you look at yourself and you do an evaluation of what it is that you have to offer in order to earn, that should be considered as an asset. Whether you can make nice coconut drops that people come to buy when they come to Jamaica, or nice bulla, I don't know, or Christmas cake or buns, whatever it is that your skill set, however it manifests, whether you do nice braids, there is a platform to advertise that asset and make it monetary, monetize it, and to ensure that there is a way in which you can earn, so it can change whatever you're trying to remedy, whether it's debt or improve your credit.
So you're also empowering consumers.
Exactly. And that's why we are focusing on financial literacy this year, because we recognize that culturally we have not moved with the rest of the world in how we look at our financial profile. So we want to educate our consumers to rethink and to also change their behavior in order to level up and manage their money.
Well, very well put. And so, as you have indicated, the week started on Sunday with a church service, right?
Yes, we partnered with our NGO, National Consumers League. They led on that. So we had our church service at the Redeemer Moravian Church at North Street yesterday, led by the Right Reverend Stanley Clark. And we had a good time. Today we're on air with you, Dervan. We are in the libraries. We're setting up our exposition in the libraries for consumers and community-based organizations who are usually engaged and partnering with us. On World Consumer Rights Day, we are also going to, I must emphasize that this year we are just simply going on a media blitz.
And so you should, yes.
Information on financial literacy. So we'll be partnering with experts in terms of we're even going on the other side of the financial literacy education on insolvency and bankruptcy. How do you deal with that? What is the agency that can assist you in ensuring that you don't lose everything or you take steps before creditors stop running at your door and seizing your property and so on. So we are aware of the positives and the negatives, and we want to catch consumers wherever they are. Whether you need to repair your credit, reduce your debt, or put a stop to any kind of move to seize your properties and so on, you need to understand who to go to, what is the process, and how to get those things resolved.
Well, what we want you to do right now, uh, Dorothy Campbell, is to remind us of the how to find Consumer Affairs Commission online.
Well, you may find us, file a complaint, seek information on our app, CAC app on your mobile phone. It's there for Android and iPhones as well. Just go to the Google Play Store. You may go to Twitter, Affairs Jamaica. It's at Affairs Jamaica, or Facebook, Consumer Affairs Commission Jamaica, as well as Instagram, Consumer Affairs Commission Jamaica. And you may email us at info@cac.gov.jm, or you may call us at 876-619-4222, and that goes up to 30. And we also accept snail mail at 34 Trafalgar Road, Kingston 10, Jamaica. And that you can contact us whether you're in Mandeville or Montego Bay. We will get that information to the right officer. So that's it for us. Thank you so much for having us, Dervan. We're always happy to share information, and we hope that consumers have learned something and they will join us for the rest of the week as we educate our colleagues, our friends, our consumers on financial literacy for World Consumer Rights Week.
Very well said. Very well done. Thank you so much to you and the team at the Consumer Affairs Commission, Dorothy Campbell. All the very best. Happy World Consumer Rights Week and World Consumer Rights Day on Wednesday. Listeners and viewers, look out on and listen out on radio. Look out online. Check out the Gleaner and the Observer. Lots of information. Western Mirror as well. Let's not forget Lloyd B. Smith, the Star newspaper. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Been a pleasure. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Well, you heard it. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 29. 现在几点了？5点加20九分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. And we trust the children have done their homework already. Have you? Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And let's take some more of your feedback. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Sean Chambers, Asha Ash, says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, just tuning in from London, England. Welcome, Asha Ash. Karen Rowe says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Paulette Blair greeting us as well. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ricardo Porteous is messaging us. So too, Faye Weller, she says, blessed love, Mr. Dervan and listeners. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Hope the same for you, Faye Weller. Natalie Winter says, keep up the good work. And that the same to you, Natalie Winter. Thank you very much for your messages. The text line, once again, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Now, as we mentioned earlier on, we uh, saw a young man in his Abilities Foundation branded shirt at a business place up of Constant Spring Road. And we thought of Sean, actually. And when I watched this young man in his lily white shirt with the logo on it that says Abilities Foundation, and he was doing his work in a most efficient manner, and it just helps us to celebrate even more Intellectual Disabilities Awareness Month. And we wish the young man well. We didn't want to load him up too much by announcing his name, but we were very impressed by what we saw. And then the fact that he was wearing the Abilities Foundation branded shirt, I'm thinking, this is why I was encouraging Sean to check out the Abilities Foundation, because somebody like Sean would do very well being trained by those hardworking team members at the Abilities Foundation to then be able to be quite functional in the world of work based on what we saw today. There's no doubt about that. And we have known before today from the days of Tony Leng when we did that broadcast from the Abilities Foundation. So here's Sean checking in. Good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan Malcolm. How are you doing, sir?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good so far. Thank you for what you just said about me a while ago. Thank you very much. I have a very interesting topic to talk about. You know what is on my mind right now? Child labor. This is a very important topic I really need to talk about. Child labor is when children are working at a very young age, when they're forced to work at a very young age. How could they force to work at a very young age? The right age for a person to work in Jamaica is 18. They have to be 18 years and over. Child labor is illegal in Jamaica.
Yes, in fact, these days I think it falls under. Oh, hold on. The children are getting out of hand there, Sean. Okay. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
We're saying a while ago.
Yes. No, I was just making the point that it now falls under what is called human trafficking. Human trafficking, the trafficking in persons, and it speaks to exploiting people and taking advantage of those who are not of the age to take care of themselves and to make certain decisions.
Okay. When I was on TVJ YouTube channel and they were talking about child labor, they say that 38,000 youths between the ages of 5 to 17 years are victims of child labor. They are forced to work at a very young age. Their parents must not let them work at a very young age. Child labor is illegal in this country.
Well, for those who have been able to identify such, then we would humbly submit that you contact the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the CPFSA, to get them to intervene in those instances. All right, Sean, sounds like you have your hands full. Thank you very much for the call, and hopefully you'll be able to reconnect with us at another time when the environment is not in the state in which it is right now. Because remember, this is radio, so we can't have all kinds of things flying about the place, so to speak, verbally, that is. So going forward, Sean, we're going to suggest that you quietly connect with us, as opposed to doing so within earshot of the children in your space, because it seems once they know that you're on the radio or you're talking with us on the phone, they then use it as their opportunity to shine. And we don't have a problem with them shining, but it not shining to the point where it's blinding, if you get the picture. Oh, you're still there? All right, hold on, let's see if we can. But remember, once the noise starts, we have to exit, because it can be quite nerve-wracking to those listening to us. Yes, go ahead now, please. Yes.
All right. So, their parents want them to work at a very young age instead of being educated. Seriously, it is like when a person is victim of child labor. It's like someone is a victim of human trafficking.
Yes, well, as we said, if people have information or have experienced situations where children were being abused or trafficked or otherwise made to do what they're not supposed to at their age, then report it to the children's registry. There's also the children's registry, which is a part of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA.
Yes, that is true. And it seems like it will never come to an end in this country at any time soon.
Well, only the people can ensure that it comes to an end.
Yes, if I see a 17 or 18, if I see a 17-year-old is a victim of child rape, I will report that matter to the police. I would be very serious about it. I wouldn't be quiet about it. I would speak up about it. And one last thing before I go, what I really want to debate about right now, I want to debate about another subject that I always have a problem with.
No, Sean, we're not going to continue. Sean, sorry, the children are out of control. So we have to end this call, all right? Call us back another time when they... No, Sean. No, this radio is not a joke, and they're joking out this thing now. So let's end the call here. We're going to end the call here, Sean. Thanks for calling. As we said, you perhaps, because the children know that you're going to be on, when they know that you're going to be on, they make a lot of noise because they get a kick out of doing that. They're children. So I'm saying, let them play in their natural environment and have fun. But when you have to talk to us, try not to be in their space or near their space. Just find a quiet corner so we can have a conversation. But we've had enough for today, Sean. Thank you very much for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Neville has a lot to say, also known as Salah. Where does the message start? These are, okay, let's come up the line here and see, because some of these messages were sent from last Friday, I believe, and we're clearing the rest. Let's see, just going down the line quickly. It's a lot of messages, some unrelated and others appropriate. This one, sir, Now let's come up the line here. Let's go to Cuban in Georgia. He says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. We as Jamaicans have to be cautious in how we deal with bushfires. We have to stop the burning of brushes and leaves, because we don't have enough water to tackle the problem. Burning of garbage is prohibited and we should stop it. Sir Malcolm, why are we still sitting in the starting blocks with the rest of the field running a steady race at the top of the field with ganja as their main product? I can see clearly the oppressor of ganja leading as the top of the pack, as the oppressor of ganja now turns around, is now the biggest dealer of ganja in the world. How ironic, huh? Sir Malcolm, how weenie on the corner dealing in ganja, still doing the same thing for decades, and him still don't have anything for himself. It's like we as a nation got stuck in the starting blocks. And as the Parliament of Jamaica wiped those ganja charges off of Weedy, police records, and apologized to Weedy for the inconvenience they caused Weedy over the years of abuse. Sir Malcolm, I love Miss Dar. She always delivers. Well done, Dorothy Campbell. And that's reference to Dorothy Campbell of the Consumer Affairs Commission, the CAC. Let's see who else is messaging us. This one says, congrats on your station's 30th anniversary. I saw your picture in the Gleaner yesterday. Thank you very much, Donald. And Dorothy Campbell has some kind things to say. She says, thank you for always accommodating the CAC in its effort and your broader purpose in enlightening our people. Thank you for loving Jamaica. I've never heard it put that way before, but I'm happy to play my part. And look, you are the ones doing the heavy lifting, Dorothy Campbell. We just feel privileged to be able to share your work with Jamaica and the rest of the world. Franklin MacDonald has been keeping an eye on Freddie, the longest living tropical cyclone in recorded history. Freddie is still around for about 2 months now. Let me see if I can bring this up. But it's been making the news. I've been listening to it on the BBC. It's been doing the rounds. And we'll come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call this and every Wednesday evening at 8 with Powering Your Health. Powering Your Health is Power 106 FM's flagship program dedicated to health and wellness. Your one-stop place to power a healthy lifestyle. How can we help you to power your health? You can reach the show anytime by calling 876-9224-1125 or by sending a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Brought to you by Benson Pharmacy and Wellington Dental. That's Powering Your Health. Powerful health and wellness discussion and interaction. This and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
Both sides of the story.
Heading to 12 CDs revenue.
Story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. a story. Both sides of a story.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 12. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5h moins 12. 现在几点了？5点加12分。12 minutes to 5 o'clock. Make that 11 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Right, so this system, Freddie, the longest living tropical storm in recorded history, with a question mark. All the details are not in yet, but the story says we can be a little Atlantic-centric here in the United States when it comes to hurricanes. However, they do happen in other parts of the world. We just call them typhoons and cyclones. They are just as devastating and jaw-dropping, irrespective of terminology. Many of you reading this article may not know about Cyclone Freddie, but you should. It is breaking records and could end up being the longest-lived tropical cyclone in recorded history. Freddie actually formed on February 6th, of all days, Bob Marley's birthday. Freddie actually formed on February 6th, 2023, near Indonesia and made landfall in Madagascar on February 21st, 2023. While making landfall as a Category 3 storm in the region, on February 24th, the system was downgraded to a tropical storm, but still produced between 1 to 2 feet of rainfall in Zimbabwe and Mozambique. This amount of rainfall is very problematic in countries that already exhibit extreme vulnerability from a socioeconomic infrastructure and health perspective. Here's the further problem. It regained intensity over the Mozambique Channel and impacted the region for a second time. According to Reuters, more than 171,000 people were affected after the cyclone swept through southern Mozambique last month, killing 27 people in Mozambique and Madagascar. The news agency is also reporting that more than 500,000 people are at risk, according to the United Nations UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. It is utterly stunning that in the second week of March, we are still talking about Freddie. Freddie, which has been persistently tracked by the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, made landfall again this weekend in Mozambique. Here are some of the records Cyclone Freddie has already or may have broken, according to experts at Colorado State University's Cooperative Institute for Research in the Atmosphere, CIRA, or CIRA, C-I-R-A. Sustained strength over time in the Southern Hemisphere, it has surpassed the accumulated cyclone energy, ACE, for the average North Atlantic season. Likely the longest lasting tropical cyclone in recorded history, 33 days, 5,000 miles traveled over the Indian Ocean. According to NASA's Earth Observatory, the longest-lived tropical cyclone in the Southern Hemisphere was Leon Helene in 2000, which was sustained for 18 and a half days and traveled a similar path to Freddie. The World Meteorological Organization issued a press release saying it is setting up an expert committee to evaluate whether Tropical Cyclone Freddy has broken the record as the longest lasting tropical cyclone on record. The previous record is Hurricane Typhoon John, 31 days, 1994. And the story goes on. So Franklin McDonald shared his source of that information with us, with the details of, and this is from Forbes.com, Forbes magazine. Thank you, Mr. McDonald. This message says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm and everyone everywhere, home and abroad, for the best tasting food. Come on, Curtis, we're going to send you a bill now. We're going to start sending you a bill. If your food is really as nice as you say, then you will get customers. Customers will turn up. You don't need our help to tell them that you have tripe and beans, cow foot, fried chicken, etc. Come on now, Curtis. Let's see who else is messaging us. Precious from New Monkland in St. Thomas says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Going 2 weeks now. No signal from Power 106. We're terribly sorry to hear that, Precious. As usual, for what it's worth, we are sharing your message with the radio and television transmission team. That's the WhatsApp group that deals with transmission. And I'm just realizing, hold on. Let's see. So this is Precious. Let's send the message to the team, sharing the information right now. Share, and it's going to transmission TV radio. Precious in New Monkland, St. Thomas. Sorry to hear that you're having a difficulty. And then she says, Mr. Malcolm, I'm trying to reach Mr. Stephen Shaw concerning the JPS wire that was torn down accidentally on November 16, 2022 by workmen who were working on the road. Can Mr. Shaw give this some attention, please? And thank you. We're forwarding your message to Mr. Shaw right now, in fact. Stephen with a PH, Stephen Shaw. Here we go, Stephen Shaw. We just sent the information to you, and we're going to send Precious's contact information as well. Let's see, share and sending it to Stephen Shaw. Please keep us posted, Precious, in New Monkland, St. Thomas. And Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, all of my African co-workers want to come to Africa with them. What do you think? Well, if your friends are inviting you on a trip, the choice is yours. This one says off-air message. Well, I guess I'll have to read it off-air. Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Once again, I am happy to be listening to your program. You never fail to deliver. Thank you. Don't change course. Ms. Nugent Ogilvy. You're very kind. Thank you very much. Another message. Greetings, bro. Dervan, this is Silo, locked and listening from Ghana, West Africa. Thank you. Silo in Ghana, West Africa, for keeping in touch with us. Michael from Bell Plains in Clarendon is also hitting us up on WhatsApp. He says, hi, teacher, to you and Power 106. Family, I want you to big up Parish Council for the good work they are doing in my road machine shop road. They're doing a good job. God bless you. Something is missing there. I get the message. Thank you very much. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 13th of March, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Both sides of a story. Both sides of a story.